No, I was trying to come out looking like a fresh baked honey bun, and I look like a cinnabon, but it is what it is. Okay, so hello, what is up, YouTube? Random citizens of the internet, how are you guys doing? I hope everyone is doing fine. I am about to just get into it, okay? As the title says, I spent basically almost $300 to have my hair ruined. So let me find a little piece of hair so I can show you. Let me just start off strong. Let me start off hot. So this is my hair. This is my hair color. I was supposed to be blonde. I'm looking a little gingerbread, a little festive with the oranges and the browns. But this is not blonde. And yeah, so I was supposed to have blonde hair as it shows. I feel like I said that like 3 times now. And quite obviously, I do not have blonde hair. I have gingerbread. I feel like a little gingerbread running around a little town. I don't know why I have it. I'm just like, I'm hyped off of coffee. I'm like shaking. My coffee was a little too concentrated today. Shouldn't have done that to myself. So yeah, with that being said, let's get into it. Let's dive directly into it. I think I'm still gonna start over again. So I went to this place called the Parlor Room. It's in New Jersey, right outside of Philly. And I really trusted this woman. This was actually the 4th time I had seen her. The first time I had seen her was back in December of 2020, and I had went in to go get kind of like the base of balayage done. I really wanted balayage, kind of blonde highlights in my hair. For reference, go check out my Pinterest board where it's called, I think, like New Hair Who Dis, and you can see that everything is basically balayage. I think maybe there's hints of like orange and red in there because eventually I would like to have red hair, but this was not the plan, Stan. It was not the plan at all. Seen her for a consultation and then to do the highlights, and when she did the highlights the first time, she walked me through the entire process. That is why I trusted her. Any question I had, she answered and explained more than I really needed. And I really appreciated her for everything and just taking the time to walk me through. Was it a long process? Yes, but again, I highly appreciated it. I loved it. On my previous TikTok, I had like, maybe it wasn't even this one, but I had videos just showing how excited I was to have the hair color that I really did like. So I was like, yeah, round 2, I'll go to her. Unfortunately, it took a little bit of time. Other things came up, we moved, all this other stuff. So finally, in October of 2021, right now, I came through and I was like, hey, let's do my hair, but let's go full on out. And so again, I had showed her what I really wanted to do. Again, it's on my Pinterest board. I will display it below or have the link below. And she was like, yeah, we can definitely get that done. I will say that like the day that I had went in for my consultation, I was already supposed to have an appointment set. And she was like, oh, I don't see it in here anymore. We can just set a new one. And I was like, okay, what's like best time to do it? She was like, maybe 9 in the morning. And I had told her, like, I'm getting ready to leave for a wedding. I have a couple of things I have to do in the morning. Is there any way to do it a little bit later? And she's like, well, we could do it at 11. And she told me that I should be prepared to be there till like 5 or 6, which like 7-8 hours to do my hair. My hair is this long, mind you. It was not that much longer because she dusted my ends. We'll get to that. But I was like, that seems really long, but if that's the case, then yeah, I'll just scrap it and I'll come in at 9. But I am really busy right now, and I did let her know that. She was like, perfect, sounds good, I'll see you then. On the day of, so this was like what, Thursday or Wednesday of last week. On the day of, I get there and I'm rushing. I am 10 minutes late. I walk through the door, she looks at me, she says, hi, you're late. I'm like, okay, you're not wrong. A little harsh, but you're not wrong, which, you know, I understand. And she's telling me that she cannot complete a full service on me. I don't know what that means because I don't speak hairology. I don't know. I'm not in this world. That's why I'm paying you. So she's like, a full service, like basically I can't get you as blonde as you want to be. So we're looking at pictures, and if I can set up the exact layout, I will, and I'll show you the pictures that we were looking at on my Pinterest board. But she's like, I can't take you this blonde. And when we were pointing at the picture, it's this exact picture we were talking about. So she's like, I can't get you that blonde, but I will do my best to lift your hair. We'll lift it up to like a good color. And I was like, okay, sounds good. Like, as long as we're lifting, as long as we're doing the balayage. And then she says it again, like, I can't do the full service. So we're going to do a partial this, and we're going to do that, and we're going to paint the color on your hair. Again, if you look at my hair from pretty much any angle, it looks like an ombre, but we haven't even gotten to that yet. So we just establish again what we're going to do. She sits me down in the seat. It's at 9:15. And so there's a few tweaks to it. I'm okay with that because, again, we're still lifting my hair to what? Blonde. But I'm like, whatever, you know, I was late, we could figure it out. I was 10 minutes late. I didn't think it would be that big of a deal, but like, again, I don't know hair, so maybe, as she said, every minute counts. Maybe it really does count. And so she starts to tell me about how busy she's been, and she tells me she's gonna have some more clients come in, so she'll be working on my head, but a couple of other clients as well too. And like, any questions, anything I need, just, you know, ask her, blah 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 blah. So she's doing my hair, and around about 10, somebody else comes in, and she gets to about like the crown of my head where I can really see what technique she's doing, and I think it looks like a 2012 ombre. How do I know? Because I did that on myself before. I've dyed my own extensions myself. I've seen this kind of like ombre level, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, this doesn't look like what I want. I'm kind of getting nervous. So I start taking pictures for myself because, again, I already thought I was going to go blonde, and I thought it'd be a good YouTube video. But now I'm like trying to sneak and see what my head is looking like because I now have no idea. I'm lost in the dark. I'm taking a couple of pictures, and we lift my hair, and it lifts to this blonde color, like dehydrated yellow color. And the most important thing is that the front of my hair is supposed to have a money shot, which I don't even like calling it a money shot because I think that sounds a little sus. I'm gonna leave it at that. But the front of my hair is supposed to have like highlights throughout, because sometimes I split it down the middle when I have my natural hair. Sometimes when I have straight hair, like I like to flick it back and forth, but usually I part my side like right over here. So it's supposed to have like kind of like chunkier like highlights right in the front of my head. And as you can see right here, there's no like chunky highlight, there's no money shot, there's no concentrated area. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, what the fuck is this? But I don't even really get to say anything, because as soon as I ask her like, hey, are we gonna keep my hair this like dehydrated yellow, she's like, oh my god, no, I would never. She sits me down in the chair, she starts mixing the toner and the glaze, which I'm not sure if they usually go together, but I'm kind of like, oh, okay, like this kind of looks weird. And so she's like, what I'm gonna do to you is I'm gonna tone and glaze the ends, and then the darker hair right here, I'm gonna put like a dark glaze on this just so it blends a little bit more, like a dark glaze on my roots. And I'm like, why are you putting a dark glaze on my roots if my roots are already so dark? Like, I don't understand that, but I don't say anything because, again, I'm not a professional. So I'm like, I'm trusting her like to do what we've already established doing. So I'm sitting there looking at the glaze as it's like developing, I guess, and she's working on a different client. And I take a picture and I send it to my husband, and I'll show you a screenshot. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting anxious because I don't think this is how I want my hair to come out. My husband's like, don't worry, like it's gonna look good, like let the professional do it. And I'm like, it doesn't look right because it looks like a strawberry milkshake, like a chocolate strawberry milkshake. So it's like this kind of brownie pink color in person. And he's like, well, don't talk to me about it, talk to her. So I muster up the courage and I'm like, hey, I just have a question about the color. Like, it's looking kind of and like I trail off like that, and she's like, don't worry, we're about to rinse it out. And as I'm mentioning the color, her assistant is sitting across from her because it's really busy at this point. Her assistant's sitting across from her, and her assistant's like, oh my gosh, like I love that color on her, referring to me. And she's like, it looks so good. And the hairstylist doing my hair is like, doesn't it? Like, doesn't this look great? Doesn't this look amazing? And I'm just wondering, like, what does it look like? And so the hairstylist says, hey, I'm busy with this other client. Assistant, do you mind washing her out in the bowl? Assistant says, yeah. We go to wash me out. I close my eyes, just enjoy the massage. And then the assistant says, I love this shade of brown on you. What? This is not supposed to be brown, my girl. This is supposed to be blonde. So my eyes jut open. I look at her. I'm like, my hair should not be brown. It should be blonde. She's looking down at me like, ooh, I do not know what to tell you. I'm looking back up at her like, you need to tell me something because I'm not freaking out. And it's just looks that we're exchanging. We're not saying anything. And so I calmly ask, but my voice is clearly shaky, is my hair brown? And she's like, yes, it is. And I'm like, it's not supposed to be. So she finishes rinsing me out, and then I take this picture. I see my hair straight up brown. It is straight up brown. And I'm like, what in the actual Sam's fuck? Like, I say that to myself while no one else is there, but I'm now starting to get stressed. I'm feeling tears swell in my eyes. Yes, I cry like I'm a baby, like a newborn, but I do not care. The hairstylist walks over to me, looks down at me, and this is like the one time she's been like super unprofessional. Like, there's unprofessional, then there's just super unprofessional. She looks at me and she goes,
"What's the problem? You don't like your brown hair?"
"It's supposed to be blonde." So she's like, "You don't like it?" I'm like, "No, it's supposed to be blonde." And I show her the pictures again, and then she's like, "Oh no, this is the picture." So it's this picture. She's like, "I told you I couldn't get you that blonde today, so I was gonna get your hair to be like this." I pointed at this picture. I'm like, how the fuck was I supposed to know you were pointing at this picture when we literally had been looking at all these other pictures on my Pinterest board of brown or blonde hair, of blonde balayage hair? What? So I am like freaking out a little bit. I'm trying to stay calm, but I'm like, what the fuck can I do? I'm really stressed, but I also know me taking my anger out on the hairstylist right now is not going to do anything for anybody. It's going to make me look like a fucking asshole. It's going to probably put her in a really bad mood, and I don't want anyone else's hair to get fucked up. So I have to like only control what I can control, which is myself. And I look at her and I say, okay, what can we do to fix this? She looks at me, grabs a chunk of my hair, looks at my hair and says, nothing. The silence was so fucking deafening in the entire place. Everyone heard our fucking conversation. Everyone knew how fucking mad I was. I know I'm cursing a lot, but I'm still cursing now because this was goddamn $300 out of my bank account. I've been saving up for this. Like, this was my treat to myself. Like, so she says, nothing. We can't do anything to your hair. I'm like, when can we fix it? And she's like, it's gonna be bare minimum 2 months, so 8 weeks. And that's if you buy like better hair quality products for your hair, because your hair is gonna be really dry, which it is still pretty dry right now. I bought a bunch of Olaplex products and I've been testing them out. I do like them. I'll do a review different day. But she's like, there's nothing we can do. Your hair's not gonna get blonde. It's brown now. So yeah. And I'm looking at the front, like, I don't even have the highlights that I want in the front. Like, this doesn't even look like an ombre with my hair wet. I'm like, it's just this color. Like, it just goes, bam, here's dark roots, bam, here's gingerbread man. But at the time, it just looked brown. So she's like, well, what we can do? What do you want to do now? And I was like, okay, if there's nothing we can do, I just want to sit in the chair and get my hair blow dried and straightened. So she's like, okay. Everyone starts telling me that the hair color looks beautiful on me and it looks amazing and it looks so good. It's perfect for fall. Honestly, no offense to the ladies in there, I could give less of a fuck. I could give less of a fuck because you're not paying me to have auburn hair, and I'm not paying this person to give me auburn hair. Like, my hair was supposed to be blonde. That's what I came in for. That's what I sat down for hours for. It's not what it's supposed to be. So she ends up asking me, do I need to dust my ends? And I was like, yeah, I do. Like, that was part of what we had agreed on. And so she's like, okay, I just want to make sure you still want to do that. She starts dusting my ends, minimal cutting. That's one of the other reasons I really do like her, is because when she says dusting your ends, she truly means just dusting it. Across the way, I see this lady who is getting her hair done, and it looks amazing. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, this is exactly what this woman wanted. And she's been here for a shorter amount of time than me, and she's getting the exact hair color that she wants. And I mean, I don't know how many times she had been in, but I was super pissed off. So she takes some pictures at the very end, like, of how my hair color looks. She's telling me that my hair color turned out really beautifully. The hairstylist is telling me that it turned out beautifully. Other people are too. I just have that face. And I go to check out, and as I'm going to check out, I realize I left my wallet at home because, again, I was in a rush that I already knew I would probably be in, but whatever. And she looks again upset with me because I left it at home, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna call my husband, but my husband might be at work. So if he's at work, can I leave my phone with you and I go home and get my wallet? That's collateral. I'm gonna come back for my phone, you know what I mean? But my husband picks up, we pay over the phone, and before I figure out how much, they've already run my card. I'm not mad at them for that because they were doing it over the phone, so they were doing me a favor essentially. But it sucks that it was already ran. And so when she runs it, I was like, hold on, wait, I want to know how much it was, because they hadn't even told me that yet. And she's like, oh, it was $267, and like there's tip in there. So I was like, $267? That's how much it was supposed to be to like do all of the blonding that I wanted done, like the dimensional blonde. And this isn't even what I wanted. And so the hairstylist comes over and she's like, it is what you wanted. And I was like, it's not, but okay. So I'm like, fuck it. I walk out. I try not to make a scene, but like my face is making the scene. And I sit in my car and I'm like, I'm just gonna cry about it. And then I think, no, get up, go in there and ask them what they did. So I go in there and I ask her, like, what did you do? Like, why is it this price? So she's like, well, I gave you a haircut. The haircut is $47. My hair was almost the same length. The reason I wanted her to dust my ends is because it's $15 usually, and it's just dusting. But she counted it as like a full-on haircut, and I think with like layering or some shit too. And then she tells me, she's like, well, I had to use multiple bowls of color to do your hair, and like your hair wasn't very easy because you have thin hair, but you have a lot of hair. And I was like, okay, like you're not gonna give me a discount. I clearly don't like my hair. It's very obvious, and you're now telling me like this is what I wanted, which is the second time I've had someone in the service world tell me like this is what you wanted when it was very obviously not. And I just was like, whatever, like it doesn't fucking matter, because this is my hair for the next 8 weeks. And she wanted me to like buy some of the salon's products, and I'm like, that is very bold of you. That is very, 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 very bold of you. So that's why I bought the Olaplex stuff again. But yeah, my hair was ruined, and I am still very upset about it, as you can obviously tell. I'm gonna go and cry now. Maybe eat some Cheetos. I meant Cheez-Its. But yeah, that's it. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.